Thank God I made it. Okay. I want to celebrate you if you've been able to get to this, which happens to be the part 5 of the side effects of not having regular sex in your marriage. Thank you so much for following us thus far. And yeah, if you've not been part of this or this why, if you've not actually followed seen the part 1 to the part 4, check the description box and you'll be able to see everything that we have talked about thus far. Okay, we'll be talking about the side effects of sex, of not having regular sex in marriage. Yeah, the side effects of not having regular sex in marriage, and it has been amazing. And I'm sure you'll be discovering many things, right? Because we want people to realize that for anything you choose to do or you choose not to do in your marriage, there are consequences, right? And the consequences could be good, could be bad. In fact, when you choose not to do something, what actually happens is that you have actually chosen what you've chosen the consequences of refusing to do that thing. Like I tell people that you cannot make a choice and say you're refusing the consequences of the particular choice that you make. If you have sex regularly in your marriage, one of the consequences of having sex regularly in your marriage is that you have a beautiful marriage, you have a beautiful glowing skin, a beautiful glowing person, you'll be a happier person, you have a happier marriage and all of that. Now, the side effect of not one of the side effects of not having regular sex in your marriage that we're talking about today in this part 5 is that there will be an emotional gap between you and your spouse. Remember that we did say that one of the purposes of sex is to bond us, right? Is to bond us, to bond our flesh, is to make us crave for each other, is to make us want each other more, so we are more connected to each other. In fact, I remember in one of the episodes that I did make mention that sex was one of the reasons why many of us easily reconcile with our spouse, because we know that, hey, if you don't reconcile with your spouse, he will not want to have sex, she will not want to have sex, right? So when you're not having sex right now in your marriage, what actually happens is that it keeps on creating that emotional gap, let me put in some balance here. It may not necessarily just be vaginal sex that does that this time. I think if you are not be sexually intimate with your spouse, yes, let me use sexual intimacy right now, because this can be achieved through kissing, cuddling, smooching, touching, being together, telephone sex, and all of that. These are the things that literally bond us, make us more emotionally connected with our spouse, makes us emotionally connected with the person we're married to. And so the intimacy gets better and gets better the more we do it. In fact, when it comes to sex, the pleasure, the fun, and everything ought to be new almost every morning, right? Almost every morning is said that, of course, it may not be practically possible for you to be having sex every day. And however, you don't use that of last week to say, oh, because you had the great one last week, oh, because you had it last month, you shouldn't be asking for it again today, or because you had it 2 days ago, 3 days ago. We must understand our respective sexual circles. Some people can have sex every week. That is their own cycle. That's when they get honey. Some get honey every 2 days, some every 3 days, thereabout. However, no matter when your time is, no matter what is it that is your emotional cycle and your sexual cycle, we usually advise and recommend that couples should have sex at least once every week, right? Once every week. I think that is basic enough. That is something that we should all be able to achieve. We should strive to achieve. So now, if you're not having sexual intimacy in your marriage, then automatically the emotional gap will be widening. When the two of you are supposed to be on the same page, you're supposed to be lovely dovies, you just discover that what you are is just nothing but mere housemates, mere co-parents, and not intimate partners. So this is one of the side effects of marriage. One of the side effects of marriage of not the side effect of marriage, rather one of the side effects of not having regular sex in your marriage is the fact that it creates an emotional gap that just keeps on widening and widening. Do you notice any emotional gap right now in your marriage? Do you notice that you're no longer emotionally connected with your spouse, or your spouse is no longer emotionally connected with you? Please add some more sex to the equation, right? Just have some more sex. Thank you so much for watching this video. My name is El and I'm alright. I am so glad, I am blessed to actually know that you took our time to watch this video to this time. So subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you get to know every time we post new videos. And if you drop a comment or you drop a question or you send a WhatsApp message, I'll be the person that will respond to it. Thank you so much for this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You rock.